Hello, my fun-loving criminals, and welcome to Monkey Caviar presents the State of Podcast. I'm Tiny, your host. With me, as always, Adam Levy. We're going to go through the world of AMC's Preacher, and we can't wait for it to get started next week. Adam, how are you today?
Pretty good, Mike. About yourself?
I cannot complain too much. I don't know if this is going to bounce live back and forth as it should between the two of us. That would be lovely, but we'll see. So
We'll see.
I'll bounce it back and forth. For those of you that don't know what Preacher is based on a comic book by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. It is, I don't know, wildly amazing, probably the greatest comic book ever written, in my opinion. Adam, do you
I'd be able to agree with you on that.
All right, fantastic. It is. It's a really good book. It is really dark. It's really sketchy, and there's some weirdo stuff in it. But I don't know how AMC is going to handle all of it, but they're going to handle a good portion.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what AMC actually decides to keep in and what they decide to change. But I guess we've got some time to see.
I know you got some Preacher books up there behind you.
I do. I have the entire hardcover collection, and as well as the softcover somewhere, and the issues somewhere else. And yeah, I've probably read the story 30, 40 times over the last 10 years.
It's better to be hard than be soft, I suppose.
This is true.
As far as your covers go, anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, as far as Preacher goes, I came into the world of Preacher via Atomic Steve, as most of my comic life has been. He does have
he's responsible for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, he has a lot to do with it. It was the first book he ever gave me, and I hadn't read any comics up to that point. And he said, "No, this is the book for you. You're gonna love this one." And
yeah, it is definitely one of those books I recommend to just about anybody that has any interest in comic books, because it's not your typical superhero story that has been running for 50 plus years and you don't know where you're going to jump into it. This is a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's an amazing story from start to finish.
Exactly, and that's what he did. He gave me the first trade paperback and was like, "Just go with this. You'll be in." And after that, I hate reading comics issue by we comic book people, we were streaming long before Netflix. It was called trade paperback, and it was the same thing as streaming a show and binging it, and that's what I'm into as far as my comics go.
Yeah. See, I got into Preacher years and years and years ago. I met Garth Ennis at Comic-Con, and I was having him sign some other books, and I was commenting on how much I loved his stuff, and he asked me if I'd read Preacher, and at that point, the first couple issues were about $100 a piece, so I hadn't, obviously, because I wasn't going to spend that kind of money for an issue. But he told me that the trades were out, and so as soon as I got back to my local comic book shop, I picked up the first two, and I read it in about 3 or 4 hours, and I was looking for more. And I'd been hooked ever since.
It is wildly, wildly addictive.
It is.
Can you hear me?
Like I said, I reread it at least once or twice a year just because I love the story that much.
Sorry, I put you on mute for a minute. I shouldn't have done that. Hey, I'm learning as we go.
Yeah, it's a learning process.
All right, so I was actually popping over to the YouTube channel to see what it looked like, and I was hoping it wouldn't feedback on me, just to make sure that it was open and on the air and all that, and it certainly looks that way.
Excellent.
No, I think it's presenting the monkey. We should probably not present. Show it to everyone. Hey, let's turn the monkey off. All right, anyway, let's get into the nuts and bolts of the Preacher thing. It is going to start next Sunday night at, I don't know, what time is it? Is it on at 10?
Probably 10 o'clock, I think.
Yeah. Now, let's see. I was stupid, and now I have YouTube echoing in my ears, which is just ridiculous. So anyways, at 10 o'clock, I think, on Sundays it's going to be on. We're going to be here on Monday afternoons doing our recap of each episode, what we think is going to come, which we're probably not even sure of, and all that. But we're definitely going to go through that. Today we're going to walk through this thing cast member by cast member for the big roles anyways. We don't need to necessarily hit some of the... There's a character that I've never heard of.
Who's that?
10 episodes of the season. Her name's Emily. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, I read something a while ago. This is a character they created just for the show.
All right, so we have Daryl Dixon now. That's good.
Yeah. Well, they figured it worked for Walking Dead. Why not work for Preacher?
Right, absolutely. Why wouldn't they? All right, so let's see here. You should be seeing the monkey still, because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing. There he is. Stop, go back. This is a work in progress. Hey, that's Garth Ennis. He is the guy that created this lovely show that we watch, or we're hoping to watch. We can't wait to watch. There you
Yeah.
go. Can you see him now?
I can see Garth Ennis now.
All right, great. Enough with him. Back to us. All right, so he is again the creator of this fine program, and we will move on next to our star of our program, the benevolent Jesse Custer, as played by Dominic Cooper, a guy I am not terribly familiar with, aside from he's Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's his big roles have been Howard Stark in Captain America, the First Avenger, and Agent Carter, and that's pretty much all I know him from.
All right, and that's all we really need to know him from. I mean, if he, casting somebody that we knew in this role would have helped or hurt. What do you think?
It depends on who they cast. I mean, who I would have cast is somebody he's known, but he's not a huge star, but I think he would have been perfect for the role. Uh, I would have gone with Timothy Olyphant.
All right. Timothy Olyphant, I can understand that. I have my cast, my list here of possibles, and he is number 2 on my list.
Excellent.
Number 2, I had chosen Aaron Paul as number 1.
Okay. I like Aaron Paul. He was great in Breaking Bad. I don't know if he's quite. I mean, I'm sure he could play the part pretty well, but I just don't see that look from him.
I get that. He's not Jesse Custer in look,
No,
but I think
but I'm sure
attitude-wise, and with the right training, he's the guy. He could pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Timothy Olyphant. I'm thinking Justified. Raylan Givens. He played that charming Southern boy for
Right,
7 seasons on that show, and I think he's got everything you need right there, ready to go.
And he does. He looks a lot like how they drew him in the comic.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. I mean, let me pop him back up for everybody to enjoy. But really, I mean, Timothy Olyphant. Who else did I have on here? Richard Madden, who played Robb Stark.
Okay.
I could see Rob. There's a lot of Game of Thrones people that could come into this world in a big way.
Yeah. Well, all the British actors are playing all the superhero comic book characters anyway, so why not?
Right, it's just one more English dude that's coming over stealing American jobs.
Exactly.
We could have used an American actor. All right, so what about out of the realm of possibility? Let's go with Depp. How would you see a Johnny Depp, Jesse Custer playing out?
Honestly, with the stuff he's been doing lately, I think it would be more harm than good.
Really?
Between like Mordecai and some of that other stuff he's been doing lately, he tries to make things really, really weird where they don't need to be weird. And I don't know, I think it would be a bad idea to put someone like him in that role.
I think
don't get me wrong, I love Johnny Depp, but in the right roles, he is amazing. But in the wrong roles, he can just sink a film.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that Johnny Depp as Jesse Custer that's kind of a gimme. I think he'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I love some of the stuff he's done, but some of the last few years, between like Alice in Wonderland and things like that, where he's just crazy for the sake of crazy. I don't know.
I don't know. This is Johnny Depp post Yoga Hosers, so who knows how he is now.
This is true.
Now that he's had a real director to work with instead of Burton. All right, one of my weird ones that I thought, I got a couple of weird choices. Of course, Norman Reedus, but that's not really weird. I think he would be magnificent in the part.
Yeah, I would definitely wouldn't mind seeing him, but then you'd lose him on Walking Dead, and that would be a tragedy.
Isn't he already lost? Isn't it possible?
I don't think so. I think he's way too popular to be writing off the show just yet.
That's right, our Preacher podcast, all about The Walking Dead.
That's right.
The weird ones, Josh Holloway. Sawyer.
Okay, I could buy that.
Uh, he's got the smarting charm.
And he's got that kind of square jaw.
Yeah.
I mean, dye his hair black, put on a black shirt, it can probably do it.
Right? That's not the worst. He's got the Texas drawl thing going.
He does, yeah.
I think that Sawyer was overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the fact that he's got another TV show. I don't even know if it's still running right now anymore, but that might be part of the reason why they didn't consider him. But who knows?
On Ally McBeal or something. Also, the last one on my list of weirdness is Michael C. Hall.
Oh, okay.
Dexter.
He's definitely got the face for it. And yeah, I loved him as Dexter. I could see him definitely. I've only really seen him in Dexter, so I never watched 6 Feet Under or things like that he'd also been in, but I'm pretty sure he's got the capability to play that off.
Yeah, I would think that based on what I've seen on Dexter alone, he's got the chops to pull off Jesse Custer.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Yeah. All right, so those are my any other randoms that you might think would play Jesse?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I think we've covered a lot on that one. I think we've given plenty of good options as to what they could have gone with.
All right, next is the one that I'm never going to agree with as far as this TV show goes. You can say all you want, but this is not Tulip.
No, and nothing against the actress. I just don't. I'm not sure what they were going with. Maybe they wanted more Marvel actors to kind of make it legitimate.
I don't know. I loved her in the Marvel Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. She's great, but it's the only thing I've ever seen her in. And Tulip is so crazy and needs to go from just those moments when she's totally vulnerable and then the moments where she's just full kick-ass.
Yeah, pulling out guns and shooting people in the face. Yeah.
Right, and I don't know if she's got both of those things.
Yeah, I mean, we never really saw the crazy side of her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it'll be interesting to see what she brings to the table. I mean, obviously they saw something in her that they liked, so.
Yeah, I mean, they have to at some point say, okay, we got to cast this part, and well, Tulip couldn't have been easy because there's probably a lot of things that they have to do as Tulip that's not going to make every actress happy.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, I get that. It might have been difficult. But he could have found a blonde. Could have dyed her hair blonde. I mean, Tulip's a blonde.
She is a blonde, yes.
And Tulip is blonde in all of my imaginary casting.
Yeah.
First and foremost would have been Christina Applegate.
Yeah. We're talking like, fresh off Anchorman Christina Applegate, or?
Yeah. No, I'm not going back to Kelly Bundy era Christina Applegate, nor her sitcom life. But yeah, right after Anchorman, she would have been great.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd be okay with that one.
All right.
I went with Patricia Arquette for my casting.
Absolutely. You took an older spin on the Tulip.
A little bit. I mean, she still looks pretty good. She doesn't look all that old, and compared to, if I'm going with Timothy Olyphant, I think she's age appropriate to be running alongside of him.
All right. I don't know if I like that one. I don't unlike it. My list is full of, it's the same stuff. It's Amy Smart, Elizabeth Banks. These are easy.
Yeah.
They're blonde. And, they're hot. But,
and there are plenty of them, unfortunately.
Well, there's a couple Arquettes to choose from.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was originally thinking Roseanne Arquette, but, again, this would have had to been like maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Time and space not being appropriate. Roseanne Arquette, work in 1987. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I think that she may have been Tulip may have been modeled after Roseanne Arquette at some point.
I believe that. I can't see why not. I love Tulip so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin it. So it's Scarlett Johansson. What do you think about her?
Don't get me wrong. I love Scarlett Johansson, and I will watch pretty much anything she does. I don't know if this would have been the right vehicle for her, but I wouldn't have complained either. I would have watched it, and been very happy to see her every week on my TV screen.
Yes, I would. Would have been lovely.
Yes, yes, it would.
Amy Smart, Elizabeth Banks, virtually the same person.
Yeah, both
They're
funny.
they're the Paxton Pullman of our generation now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're both smart. They're both funny. I don't know if I've ever really seen them do anything serious or ass kicking, but I'm sure either of them could pull it off.
Well, we haven't seen Olivia Munn do that, but we all assume she's going to pull it off.
Well, you get enough special effects behind her in an X-Men movie, and Olivia Munn can do anything.
Well, Jesse Custer gives you the word of God.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of red eye color and some voice filters.
That's true. All right, now on to the interesting ones on my list. First, we talked about it earlier, Callie Cuoco.
Yeah, I think she looks too young, but I think she'd also be great in the role.
But if they would have gone with that direction and done a nice Callie Cuoco in there with Oliphant, oh man, that would have been good stuff. That would have been so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I could see them working well together. That would be good.
All right, Orange is the New Black's Taylor Schilling. Have you seen the Orange is the New
I
Black?
have seen Orange is the New Black,
All
and
right,
I didn't even think of Taylor Schilling.
interesting choice.
It is. I would be okay with that one too.
I got an interesting one. Yeah,
It's yeah,
after the first season, I was a big fan of hers. The second season
yeah,
of that show, not so much. But first season, I was a big fan. And
yeah,
when I heard this was coming out, I thought, oh, that'd be great for her. She'd be so good as Tulip. And yeah, I never heard her name mentioned again.
yeah. Outside of Orange is the New Black, I haven't. I don't know if she's done much, and that might be why she didn't come to my mind because you know, with between Netflix seasons, you don't kind of think about those shows, so a lot of those characters just go right out of my mind.
Right. Especially, I mean, it's a good long time, especially if you binge something and it's gone the weekend it's out, like Daredevil.
Yeah,
And you sit here on your hands going, well, I guess I could rewatch it.
yeah, exactly.
It is a long time. All right, down to, I got two more.
Okay,
Katherine Heigl.
no.
No, just straight no. No, no, not a chance. No.
I, I don't like Katherine Heigl. I didn't like her in Grey's Anatomy. She's not a bad actress. It's just I
Not
don't think
good.
she's a great actress, though.
All right. Sorry if you're listening, and I know you're not.
Yeah, my apologies, Catherine.
Yeah,
I still
well,
love you.
our apologies. Send us a hashtag. All right, my last one, Julie Benz. You may not be familiar. Julie Benz was Dexter's first wife,
Dexter's,
Rita
yes.
Morgan. Kind of mousy, maybe a little too mousy, but
Well,
she has a great body.
I think that would work though because when we first meet Tulip in the books, she isn't that badass that we come to love later in the story. She is kind of, a little timid, not really that take charge kind of woman. Her botched hit attempt in the first issue. I could definitely see Julie Benz playing that off, and I know she can play a stronger character too, so I'd see her grow in that role. I think that'd be great.
I can't believe we agree on so many of these. It's shocking me. All right. Next up on our cast parade is Cassidy. There's only one choice if you're casting Cassidy, in my opinion, and it was Tim Roth.
Okay, I've got one choice too, and that's a completely different person, but
All
uh,
right.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. All right.
I'm thinking Mark Renton from
Wow.
Trainspotting had he gotten older,
Okay. I can see that, I guess.
but
Hey,
Tim Roth is great too. I like Tim Roth.
Tim Roth should have been Cassidy. I always thought Tim Roth was Cassidy. Like
Yeah,
when I first read the book, it was Val Kilmer as Custer because he would have been a great Jesse Custer. And then
yeah,
Tulip, of course, was Christina Applegate, and Cassidy is Tim Roth. Magnificent cast in my head.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I was trying to look up something and I couldn't find it. I want to say years ago, back when Wizard magazine was still a thing, when they used to do their casting calls, they did a one for Preacher, and I was kind of curious to see who their writers had picked for these roles.
I don't know. I saw a couple different lists, but I don't know which one was which.
Mm,
Anyway, I love Cassidy. For those of you who are new to the whole preacher world, Cassidy is interesting. He's been around a long time, and he does things his own way, and they're not always good. And he's a vampire.
But he tries really hard.
And he's a vampire.
Yes.
It's just such a small part of who Cassidy is that he's a vampire that I was almost afraid they were going to not make him a vampire and just let him be, he's just a crazy Irish guy.
Yeah.
But no, he's going to be a vampire, and that's good. That's very good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This guy that they got playing him, Joseph Gilgan is his name. And I don't know him at all.
Yeah, I looked him up on IMDb, and I haven't seen anything that he's done.
No, it's like British soap operas and whatnot.
Yeah,
I don't got a whole lot of faith. But I also, been surprised in the past. So I don't know him, so I'm not going to hate on him just yet.
No, of course not.
All right, other choices for your role of Cassidy, aside from Ewan McGregor. Was that your whole list?
That was my whole list for Cassidy.
All right, Garrett Dillahunt.
Why do I know that name?
You know that name. Raising Hope, Bert Chance.
Oh, okay.
Garrett Dillahunt, though not Irish, would be a fantastic Cassidy.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I don't know. Just from what I've seen of the trailer so far, Cassidy's accent seems almost like he's like a caricature of an Irishman. I don't know if they're trying to make it a joke or what, but it's like it's not what I picture or what I imagined when I would read Cassidy. The guy sounds like he's just he's pretending really hard to be Irish, and it's just not working.
Let's see if he's actually. I don't even know if he's actually Irish. To tell you the truth.
I don't either.
Look it up real quick. Let's see. This will be fun. So, other choices that I had besides Dillahunt was Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You gotta like that one.
I do love Walton Goggins.
He very well could have stepped into Jesse as well. I would have been 100% fine if he would have been Jesse Custer.
Yeah, put a wig on him and give him a little more hair. But yeah, I do like Walton Goggins. I've liked him in everything I've seen him in.
All right, I'm pulling up Cassidy now. Jeez, my computer's slow. Oh, that's because Google Hangout takes all of my bandwidth.
Yes, it does.
Hey, Google Hangout, if you're listening, you suck. I wish there was a better option.
I've been looking. I haven't been finding anything.
I haven't either. Perhaps we'll have to build it. He was born in Lancashire, England. So
okay, so he was an Englishman.
Not an Irishman.
Good to know.
All right. Other guys on my list, I have two more. Guy Pearce.
Okay.
Guy Pearce, I think physically he can tackle the role. He's got the accent, even though it's Australian.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could wing it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if all the British can sound American and be convincing, I think, you can get an Aussie to get an Irish accent and be pretty convincing as well.
Sure, Wolverine. He pulls it off.
Exactly.
All right, my last one is the best one. In my opinion, this is the way they should have gone. Jerome Flynn. If you're not familiar with the name, you are familiar with his character on Game of Thrones. He is Jaime Lannister's man in Dorne, Bronn.
Bronn, oh, okay.
Bronn would have been a fantastic casting.
Yeah, I would be fine with that. I mean, he was one of those characters on that show that, had a very small part in the book, and they gave him a much bigger role in the show, and I was very thankful for that. And yeah, I'd be totally fine seeing him as Cassidy if they went that route.
No problems at all. I think we just showed Cassidy through that whole time we were talking.
I think so.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had it up the whole time because I'm not quite work in progress podcast number 1. All right, next we move on to the Angels. The Angels may not even be angels in this adaptation of Preacher, and
I don't know.
That's frightening. That's a very frightening thought that they are not actually going to be angels. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, because if they're not angels, then I think from a very early point in the story, they may have just caused irreparable damage.
Oh, I agree. All right, so for those of you who have never heard of or seen Preacher, why are you watching this? That's ridiculous. But if you haven't, basically Jesse Custer is embodied with the spirit of a half angel, half demon, and it wreaks all kinds of nonsense in heaven. And I've heard, but I cannot confirm that Genesis is going to be of alien origin.
And if that's the case, then they've pretty much just removed the entire religious element of the show.
Which is the best part of it, which means Hairstar, Featherstone, Hoover, the Allfather,
the Grail,
all worthless.
Yeah.
All just beautiful comic book stuff that we could love forever as readers, but unfortunately, if that's what this TV show is going to be about, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the story, if you take out the religious part of the story, then Jesse's entire motivation behind this quest he's on is completely removed. And then you're sitting there asking, what is he trying to do then? What is the point of the story?
Right, and then the point of the story, as you can see, I put a picture back up. It's the Saint of Killers, but we don't know is going to be in this or not. Excuse me. If they take the entire religious aspect out of it, then it becomes this alien, gives him a superpower, kind of he can make people do whatever he wants, and I don't see where there's an end game as to find and punish God, which is basically what he sets out to do in the comic book.
Well, not so much punish God, but make God answer for what he's done. And then as he learns more and more throughout this quest, he decides that, yeah, God really needs to answer for all the crap he's done and all the stuff he's put people through to get them to where they want to be, where he wants them to be.
Right. So without all that, he becomes a guy who's just walking the earth like Kane in Kung Fu, which is fine. He just happens to have the power of God inside of it.
Yeah. And an ex-girlfriend and an Irish vampire following him around.
Right, and that happens all the time.
It does. It just happened to me last weekend.
So it looks like from the trailers and whatnot that they're going to make these guys more secret agent types than angels, but maybe I don't know. I really want them to be angels. And if they're just hiding under the guise of, oh, we're feds, that's great. I'm fine with that. You can get to it later.
Yeah, but even in the book, the angels were never really on Earth like trying to hunt down Genesis. They were cast out of heaven and they were just in hiding.
Right. They came out, they freed the Saint of Killers, they got him up and on the job, and then, they pretty much went back and dealt with heaven.
Yeah.
Well, now it looks like they are taking the place of the Saint of Killers.
And if that's the case, that's just there's something wrong.
And we'll get to all that in the people that are not in the cast, which is a big section. All right, let's move on from the Saint and go to my man Hugo Root. Now here's character. Well, I guess I presented it already. Here is a great actor, great guy. I love him from Deadwood. He's one of the best parts of Deadwood, in my opinion. So I love the casting. I love that he's going to be Hugo Root. What I don't love is that Hugo Root's around for 10 episodes. And that's not. He should be out of that pretty quick as far as comic books went.
Yeah, he was around for the first storyline. So I mean, unless they're going to make the first storyline in Preacher the entire first season, then it makes sense for him to stick around for the entirety of the first season, 10 episodes or however long it's going to be. As far as W. Earl Brown, yeah, I like him. Mostly the one thing that stands out for me, one of his roles that always stands out, because I didn't watch Deadwood, was Something About Mary.
All right.
And but I mean, the thing I saw him in most recently was in Draft Day. He had a small part in that with Kevin Costner, and he was great in that. I mean, he's a great character actor, and I'm completely fine with him in the role. He's one of the few people I actually that has some credits behind their name that people who know who he is. I mean,
go ahead.
I say, but looking at the character, the way he's drawn and whatnot, I've got one choice who I think would be great for the role.
Ooh, R. Lee Army.
I think he might be a little too old for the role now, but R. Lee Ermey would have been great. Don't get me wrong. I think he's kind of hilarious. I would have gone with Chris Cooper.
Oh, yeah, all right. Chris Cooper, I could totally see that. That would be great. That would be very good. Who's the guy who does Number One Son in Kill Bill? He's got the glasses. He's the cop. And he's got Michael Parks?
Michael Parks, yeah.
Yeah. He would have been good as well, but I really like Chris Cooper. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I'm bummed. I have no casting suggestions for this at all.
Okay.
So I really don't.
Yeah, this is one of the few roles where I'm completely fine with who they cast for.
Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, hey, they actually did one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough of showing you him. All right, now we move on to perhaps the guy that will, I'm going to guess, be the breakout character of this show. Who doesn't love Arseface?
Arseface is great. Arseface is one of the best supporting characters on the show.
Does it matter who plays Arseface?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, so with as much makeup and prosthetics.
Casting suggestions for Arseface?
Nobody.
I have two.
Okay.
Shia LaBeouf. One, because I'd love to see him with an ass face.
I love it.
And two, I mean, you can do it. Why not? Shia LaBeouf. My other one is Paul Dano.
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano would have been a great Arseface. Maybe a little more serious.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with as much makeup and prosthetics, you could put anybody in that role.
Sure, yeah.
You could put George Clooney in the role, and nobody would really know who it is.
That'd be great. George Clooney's Arseface. Yeah. I think they missed the boat on that one.
They did. He's not doing much these days.
What is it? Casting Jimmy is hanging out with his wife. Whatever.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. That is pretty much, I think. Oh, Quinn Cannon.
Oh, Quinn Cannon, yes.
Odin Quinn Cannon. Now, Odin comes into the comic book much later in life than the beginning, but I do like the casting.
I like Jackie Earl Haley. I think he's a fun character actor again. He can pull off most any role he's given. There's every time I read anything with Odin Quinn Cannon, I can't help but think of Dana Carvey doing his Ross Perot impression.
100%. I was going to say the only name on my list is Ross Perot.
Yeah. Well, Dana Carvey as Ross Perot, I think, would be absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Exactly. Again, people don't do impressions of George W. Bush. They do impressions of Dana Carvey doing George W. Bush.
Exactly.
So same thing with Ross Perot. He would have been a great Quinn Cannon. However, if you're going to have Quinn Cannon, are you going to have the meat suit? I
certainly hope so.
Oh my God, I hope so. That may be the most disturbing image of the first season. If they're getting rid of the Saint Killers and all that, then anything Quinn Cannon does is going to be the most over the top of the season.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And if I remember correctly, they cast like another Quinn Cannon. I don't know if Odin has a son in the season or what, but there's somebody else with a Quinn Cannon name on IMDb.
All right. So they may just go wildly and crazily off the reservation as to the comic book.
This is what it's looking like.
It may just be very much a jumping off point, and hey, we have some characters that are Preacher related.
Exactly.
Which could be
bad. It's a story based in the world of Preacher.
Could be bad, but again, benefit of the doubt until we see it.
Yeah.
So far, I've read a couple of reviews, and people have said good things.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, I'm definitely going to keep it in mind.
People I trust on the internet, and that's not a lot. But, well, they're reviewers that I trust. I don't trust anyone. All right, so that's Quinn Cannon. We go down to the creators of Preacher. Well, not the creators. The people that are producing them. And this
Seth
was
Rogen.
the most frightening news we ever heard. If you
Yeah.
are a Preacher fan, the most horrifying thing that could ever come from the internet was that Seth Rogen was going to be responsible for Preacher.
Yeah, Seth Rogen is funny, and he does some great comedy stuff, but this is not a comedy show.
Well, there's a lot of comedy in Preacher. It's funny, but it's darkly funny, and it's yeah, it's weirdly funny.
There are
I love
comedy.
the weirdness, but I don't know that Seth Rogen is the guy to bring that weirdness.
No, and I don't know what else if he's ever done any kind of other production work of this scale before. You know,
Green Hornet. Really, that's what we're gonna get. Green Hornet. Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like Adam fell out, and that's unfortunate. But we will continue on here and make up the best we can. I hope he can get back. We will definitely try. If not, we will end this very shortly. Let's see. Let's see. I can just move forward. What do we got? I can talk about some of the characters that aren't going to be on the show this year. In Hair Star and the Scene of Killers. The Scene of Killers, which would have easily been Clint Eastwood, I think, in some previous life, is just a great character. He comes in and he blows the whole place to shit. You gotta love him. But unfortunately, it looks like, as according to the IMDb, that he will not be a part of season 1 of Preacher. And that's really unfortunate because, well, we named the podcast after him. Yeah, it sucks. The other scar-faced gentleman on your screen is a Hair Star, who is definitely part of the religious side of Preacher. He runs the Grail, and he is just a magnificent piece of work. So many wonderfully bad things happen to him. It's quite incredible, really. I liked Hair Star. I never really thought about casting anybody as Hair Star except for Gary Oldman. He would have been the obvious choice for me. You can look at his lovely bald head, and of course you think of Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, because who wouldn't think of Lex Luthor? He's a fantastic bad guy. Let's see here. Also, you got Michael Keaton as an option to play Hair Star. Would have been quite entertaining. Michael Keaton is obviously a good actor, and I think Hair Star is just weird enough and crazy enough that he would have been fantastic in the role, really. But unfortunately, at this time, he is not. So we have no Hair Star right now, and that's unfortunate. But we will hopefully get a Hair Star in season 2, provided there is one, or perhaps later in this season. Who knows? Inviting Adam back to the podcast. See if we can get back in here. And there he is. He's coming back. Well, there you are. Hey, you're back. Nope, not back. Could be back. Thought you were back. Well,
and I'm back.
Hey, there you are. All right. Well, I was just talking while you dropped about
Excellent.
The Saint of Killers and Hair Star. I hope they were on your screen. I was talking casting suggestions right now for Saint of Killers, who's not, of course, in this season of Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, huh?
I'm sorry, Game of Thrones, yeah. Or Preacher, whichever you're watching. I had said Gary Oldman.
If the Saint of Killers stood up in Game of Thrones, that'd make for a very interesting episode.
That would. Yeah. I said Gary Oldman as Hair Star. Okay. I said Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville.
Nice.
Hey, you have to. He's bald.
He's bald, yeah.
The last I was speaking of was Michael Keaton.
See, I love me some Michael Keaton.
Right? I do too.
Yeah. I went with a little bit of a different route. Someone I know can be very menacing and yet also can be very funny without necessarily trying to be.
All right.
I went with Tom Hiddleston.
Ooh, a little low-key in the house.
Low-key.
All right. I can understand that. Tom Hiddleston is a great choice. Definitely, I think he could play the American without a problem.
Hmm.
Because I think Hair Star has to be American if they're going to put him in at all. All right.
Uh, yeah.
My last choice for Hair Star was Damian Lewis,
Oh, see, yeah, I like Damian Lewis too.
Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Um,
stuff. I think he would be interesting in the role. Just, I think he'd be physically the most imposing Hair Star.
yeah. I mean, and he doesn't have to be physically imposing, but yeah, Damian Lewis, I've liked him for a number of things I've seen him in.
Yeah,
Even though I didn't watch
absolutely.
Homeland, I thought he was great in that.
Yes,
I watched the first season of that. Um, Life, a short-lived, series on, I think it was on NBC. He was great on that.
it was. You know who else was on Life? Christina Hendricks.
Sarah, oh, that's right, she was on that.
Christina Hendricks. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about her.
We could find a role for her in this somewhere. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
All right, to the Saint of Killers. The obvious and most noteworthy choice is Clint Eastwood.
Of course.
Would have been the greatest Saint killer of all time. I have four other selections: Sam Elliott,
Okay.
Gibbon, Scott Glenn,
Yeah. Okay.
Josh Brolin,
All
and
right.
Tyler Mane.
Okay. I mean, you definitely going that old cowboy route, which I mean, the Saint of Killers is your classic, walked right out of a spaghetti western set, cowboy looking guy. Um, I think with Clint's track record lately, he's better suited behind screen, behind the camera directing. 15 years ago, when he was still acting, yeah, he would have been absolutely perfect. I think there isn't anybody else that could have played this role.
Agreed.
I went a little different route
All right.
on this one. I went with Ron Perlman.
Okay.
Someone
That
who,
is that's a great choice.
yeah, I love Ron Perlman, especially Sons of Anarchy. He was just brilliant, and
Yeah, I think if they're gonna bring Saint of Killers into it, it's gonna be more of a cameo kind of situation where he pops up here and there and does vast
yeah,
damage.
wreaks havoc and then just disappears.
Right, and that's all we need him for. So maybe we can get a cameo. Perlman would be fantastic. That would be a
Yeah, yeah, I'd
that'd
love
be
that.
a great choice. All right, so we covered those two gents. Who's next? Oh, Featherstone and Hoover.
Ah, yes.
All right, well, without Hair Star, there's no need for Featherstone and Hoover. However, these are two of my favorite characters from the comic. I love them both. I wish only good things for them, and
Yeah,
good things never happen to them.
no.
I
So
wish
who did you choose for Hoover?
I didn't. I really I couldn't. If
Okay,
I had to do Hoover, Anthony Mackie would be a nice Hoover.
okay. I had two different choices for Hoover.
All
Um,
right.
One for the funny side, because even though Hoover's not necessarily a funny character, he screws up so royally that it's just nothing but hilarious. And
Okay,
I would have
Chris
gone with
Rock.
Donald Faison.
Donald Faison. All right. All right.
Christopher Turk from Scrubs.
Okay.
And the other one, who I just watched recently on the second season of Fargo, Bokeem Woodbine.
All right. Well, I haven't seen him in a bit, I would say, and nor do I know that I could pick him out of a lineup.
He was really good in the second season of Fargo.
All right. I haven't watched any of the Fargo. Think I'm missing out on that one, maybe.
And as far as Featherstone goes, I went with Felicity Huffman.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. I'd be okay
Because
with that.
she kind of has that school teacher look. Featherstone was a former school teacher and who joined the Grail. And also, if you get her, there's a good chance you can get her husband.
Right.
And
Where do we to shoehorn William H. Macy into this?
oh, I already know where I'd shoehorn what I'd put him in.
All right, give me.
He'd be Freddie Allen, part of the one half of the sexual investigators.
All right. All right. Freddie Allen, the sexual investigator. Who would you cast with him?
Vinnie Jones as Bob Glover.
Perfect. That one's perfect. All right. Yeah. I think we should make a phone call, and in season 2 we could look forward to Featherstone and William H. Macy, and that would be
I think it would be
spectacular.
awesome.
Shameless has got to be done by then, right?
You only need him for a couple episodes.
Right. A couple other characters that are not in this that I didn't get pictures of. Jesus the Sod being one of them. And I have 2 casting options for this.
Okay.
Orlando
I didn't
Bloom.
pick anybody for this one.
Orlando Bloom and Russell Brand.
Oh, Russell Brand, I think would be perfect.
100% Russell Brand is Jesus the Sod. Yeah, blonde wig him and give him the Targaryen, and he is in there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best choices I've heard. Yeah.
All right, I'm on a roll. I got 2 really good ones that made you laugh. All right, and then
Jody and TC.
TC. I'm not sure that they're not going to make an appearance, but they're just not.
I think we'll see them.
Cast. And if
they're probably second season.
If Clint Howard is kicking around out there somewhere, Clint Howard, do we have a job for you, buddy? You are a lock for this role. No one else should ever play it.
I didn't even think of Clint Howard, but that's pretty good.
It's a gimme. As far as TC, I don't care. I really don't. Any big guy, Garrett Dillahunt would be good there.
Well, you're talking. Sorry, for TC it was Clint Howard. You're talking Jody, the big guy.
Yeah. We could do.
I want Michael Shannon on that one.
Michael Shannon. Who's Michael Shannon?
He was General Zod in the new Superman movies.
Oh, all right.
He's big and he looks scary and he looks like he could just beat some ass.
I like the idea of Garrett Dillahunt and Clint Howard kicking around town together. I think that would just be the most fun duo ever.
That would be very entertaining.
They are some lovely dudes, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Love them. All right, I think
if they're gonna do that, they got to do the good old boy storyline.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I agree 100%. But that's
just
again, it's a
episode
hopeful.
or 2 of all them running around the swamps with some private investigator.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be fantastic. It'd be one of the best episodes of the series.
I'm okay that it's not going to be in order. I'm okay that it's not going to be, what it is. But they got to bring some of those little elements into it to make it Preacher.
Yeah,
if there's no heaven, you could have called it anything.
Yeah, it could have been any story you wanted, not Preacher.
The religious aspect is what makes him Preacher,
Yeah. I mean, and that's why HBO, who was originally going to do this years ago, dropped it because they didn't want to bring that religious aspect into it. They figured they'd offend and alienate too many people.
Right, and we talked about it a long time ago. Back at Casa Soprano, we talked about how the only HBO could make it, and they would never tackle the religious part of it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they were all set to go with it, and then HBO got a new president and said, I'm not sure I like the religious aspect of the show. Let's just go ahead and drop it. And that was
lawless bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
You have such a wonderful show. Why would you just take it apart?
Yeah. And then there was, I don't know if you remember, there was a movie that was supposed to be done a few years ago with
James Marsden.
James Marsden, yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous about that one. I couldn't see Cyclops playing Jesse Custer.
No, I don't think so. All right, well, that takes us through the cast assessment for Preacher. It'll air next week on Sunday, and we hope that it lives up to our expectations, though.
I'm nervous, but I'm
very nervous
for something good.
I've given Seth Rogen and Goldberg all the faith in the world that they can pull this off. And
we'll see next week.
May not be my Preacher. May not be your Preacher. Well, we will get Preacher. So until then, we will sign off. Until then, next week, and love many, trust few, and do harm to no one.
All right. Thanks for watching.